Hi everyone, this is Jennifer from Alivani.com. Now you might be wondering why you see my reflection rather than my face facing straight to you. Well, I would like to share a little bit with you about reflections of life. Everything we see every day in our life is a reflection of who we are and what we will become. And we don't always pick up on it because we're busy in our lives and we're just doing things to kind of keep our lives going, going to work, coming home, etc., etc. So I want to share something really interesting that came to me today as I am crossing this path. Hi everyone, that was a picture of the Erie Canal. The Erie Canal is something I see every single day, and I really believe even things we see every single day are reflections of our lives, and they have something to teach us. So when I first looked at the Erie Canal, I wonder what could the Erie Canal teach me today. So I will share a little bit about what I think the Erie Canal teaches me today, and that is how to be an authentic person. Now, how in the heck does the Erie Canal teach you to be an authentic person? Well, when you looked at the picture of the canal, you might have noticed that there's not a lot of water in the canal. In the wintertime, they put the locks down so the water gets, it's not able to flow into the canal. It's kind of stagnant water right now. There's not that much water. There's not that much life in the canal. There's not much fishes. There's not really ducks or birds or animals hopping around like squirrels and bunny rabbits and all that stuff. The other thing you might have also seen in the video is that the trees don't have any leaves yet, and the grass doesn't have the vibrant green yet because the spring hasn't really sprung yet over here. And something that might not have been able to show up really well in the video, but I can see, and this is the thing that really got me thinking about the Erie Canal and how it applies to my life, is that, the water is stagnant for the most part. The locks are down on each side. There's not a lot of movement in there with the water flowing around, and there are places where there's ice on top. So it's frozen, it's stagnant, it's not as full of life as it could be, and it's dull. There's not any color, there's not much life over here, the sky is gray. Now, what does that make me think about my life and appreciate what I have today? Well, being stagnant, being dull, being lifeless, colorless, and not flowing, going with the flow, that reminds me of not being authentic to who I was. There was lots of times in my life I wasn't authentic to who I was. And there are even times today when I get caught up in not being authentic to who I really am, because maybe I'm in the rat race of life, or I just get caught up in the moment, or I get influenced by people, peer pressure, and I kind of for a minute forget who I am. So I have to come back to my values and who I want to be and who I want others to think I am, and more importantly, of course, who I think I want to be. So the canal makes me think of that. Like when a person, and me in particular, is not authentic, I definitely feel lifeless, dull. I don't have any color. I can't move. I feel like frozen and stagnant. And I'll share an example. When I was working as a social worker, I had to do a script. I basically had a bunch of questions and forms that needed to be filled out at different times working with the clients, like maybe for intake or review sessions and all that fun stuff. So when I first saw all these scripts, I'm like, oh my God, this isn't who I am. I can't talk like that. Some of the words were just amazing, let me put it bluntly like that. So what happened? Of course, I had to learn the process to do the job, so I did. But over time, I adapted it to my personality. I started saying it in my own words, with my own personality, my own, communication style and all that stuff. So it became me. It became part of who I was. And, the times when the script needed to be changed up, or the script had to change because the head honcho said so, those times are very interesting, because those are the times the clients would come back to me and say, what the heck is going on? You must be having to do something new today because you don't act like that. What they were basically telling me is, you're not really being true to who you are, and we've seen you be true to who you are, and this really doesn't seem to be you. You seem to be clunky today. You don't seem to be like on target. You don't seem to be comfortable with what you're doing. So people can tell when you're not really being true to who you are. So you know, I would just like to get some feedback from you, and maybe you can share with me some things about what's it like to be authentic. How do you feel when you're not authentic? And what do you do to kind of remedy that situation? I'm really curious to know how other people have dealt with this, because in my own life it's been a struggle. It's a continuous struggle, and one of the things, just like the frozen water, it's stagnant underneath and it's lifeless on top. There's that divide. Like when I was working, sometimes I had to feel like I had to leave home at home, work at work. I couldn't talk about my personal stuff at work, and I couldn't, you know, really talk about my work stuff at home because I'd get stressed out. I always feel like I have to leave something behind. But just like the water in that canal, is made up of H2O, 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. Now if you break that up and leave the hydrogen behind and the oxygen somewhere else, you don't have water. So I always felt like if I have to leave part of me back at work or part of me back at home, I'm not a full me. And how could I be? Because part of me is there and part of me is here, and I'm kind of leaving all my parts all over the place. And, you know, picking them up is very, you know, overwhelming and very tiring. So how do I bring all that back together? How do I bring me back into me and be who I am and be authentic? So I'm wondering if, you know, who else has experienced this, because I kind of feel like I can't be the only one. But that's just what I wanted to share today, about how everyday things we see in our lives remind us of who we are, what we are in life, and how they reflect on us and teach us what this world has to offer us. So I do appreciate your time listening to this video, and I hope to, you know, get some interaction with you and hear what you have to say. I'd like to know what you're thinking. So have a great day, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.